Are two cameras better than one? Huawei certainly thinks so. We're taking a look at its latest flagship, the P9. Let's investigate. So let's talk a little bit about those two cameras and what they can do for you. So Huawei says that you'll get more light by using two sensors, 200% more light, the company says. Those cameras themselves both have a 12 megapixel sensor. One is an RGB sensor while the other handles monochrome. What's really interesting, I think, about using two cameras is that it gives the phone a lot more information about the distance between you and the thing you're taking photos of. So why is that useful? Well, it lets you play around with things like this wide aperture mode. Now what this does is it figures out what's far away and what's in the foreground, and it adds a little bit of extra blur to the things in the background, which just gives your photos that nice Instagrammy look. I had quite a lot of fun with this. I like that you can change the focus point afterwards, and it's got some cool filters as well. For example, this one, which makes everything that's in the background of your photo black and white. Apart from having fun with shallow depth of field, this phone has some weird selfie features as well, including this one which lets you tailor all of the enhancements that you like your selfies to feature, and then it'll apply those defaults to every selfie you take. You do have to be careful though, or you can end up with slightly scary looking photos like this one. Moving on from the camera features, this phone has the same aluminium body as its predecessor. It's got a 5.2-inch display that's slightly bigger with a 1080p resolution. It charges using USB Type-C, and it supports a micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes, which should be plenty of space. Spin it around, and on the back there's a fingerprint sensor. Underneath that fingerprint sensor, lurking inside the phone, is an octa-core processor clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, backed up by 3 gigabytes of RAM. If you fancy something a little bit bigger, then Huawei has you covered with the P9 Plus. Now this phone is essentially the same, but it does have a few key differences. It's bigger, of course. This is a 5.5-inch display. It's got a larger battery. It's got 4 gigabytes